I
I'm
love
always
it.
I'm always dancing alone when the music goes on.
I am
Oh, hey,
too.
it's Jeanette. Um, so if I make comments in the comments, does other people see my comments?
Yes.
Wonderful. All
And
right,
Jeanette's
because
watching us on YouTube. That's
ooh, that's
exciting.
exciting. Now I'm curious whose YouTube she's watching it on. Um, so no, this is great. Again, it is Thursday. It is our wrap up in resilience, and normally we do this at 5:15, but we have moved it to 3:45. Are we staying at 3:45 ongoing?
Yes,
Wonderful. I
we
mean, I knew the
are.
answer to that. I was having you tell the people the
I was making sure the graphic was right
answer. So
because the graphic said 1:45. So when I went to make our new intro, that's when I messaged you and I was like, "Oh my gosh, we're late."
it's all good. It's all good. We're trying to get the best time going for this. Um, and when we first started, the 5:15 thing was the best time for each of us. And then we realized that it does not work with family situations on both sides of the world. So, and by both sides of the world, I mean Central and Mountain Time. I don't know if that's really both sides of the world. So you go all
The
the way
only
around.
two time zones that matter in this
This
moment.
exactly, exactly. Only thing that matters in this moment. Um, but we always we always start off a little crazy. Um, but under resilience today, we kind of talked about this before we got on the call. Um, and I was talking to somebody this week about just when you start a business, the bad decisions that you make because you don't know things, right? And it's not necessarily even bad decisions. Sometimes it's uninformed decisions, right? But then I started thinking back about the worst like decision I ever made when it came to my career path. And I I left a job that I actually liked for the promise of starting a brand new nonprofit. We were going to start one from scratch. We already had 3 board members. We had a guy that was going to put up the initial funding. Like everything was going to be amazing. And after about 3 months of not getting paid, I realized something's wrong, right? And I literally had to fight and get a lawyer and threaten just to get paid for what ended up being 4 months. And we all make stupid decisions like that, right? Where you trust somebody before you should, or whatever the case. And that leads me to my first quote that I'm going to try to put in the little comment section here. Oh, yeah, I think that, and I don't know who said this. I found this like on Google or whatever, but each one of us is more than the worst thing we've ever done. And I always think about that decision and think about how I could have really done some more research before that, right? And now I'm going to ask you, have you ever made a bad business decision possibly without enough research?
We all know that I love working two jobs. Um,
Yeah.
so I did a similar thing. I went to help this person. They had it all laid out. I mean, we had office space. There was moving, there was grooving. They ended up wrangling their girlfriend into it, and we ended up doing some stuff with their girlfriend on a whole portion. There's a lot. There was a lot to it, and I brought
Hmm.
in some people to work for this person.
Oh,
Nobody ever got paid. I never got paid. There was definitely I did not get a contract
oh, I
or
even
a
had,
hiring
yeah.
paper, so I did not have the option of getting a lawyer. Um, and I did it for about 2.5 years because I truly believed in that person. Um, I yes. So I've done those things, as well as I have done you know, if you are somebody who can pull off being Pampered Chef or Dove or all of those network marketing
More
scenarios,
power to you.
I love you because I
Yeah.
love Pampered
I
Chef and I will purchase.
Right. I envy people that are successful at that because
However, I was not, and I've done a
sure.
few of them. So, making the same mistake twice or thinking I can do it better a second time, um, those are definitely things that I have come up against. And running my own business is not those things, and I need to
Right.
go what's the word?
Differentiate between the two.
Differentiate those things, because there are times where I'm like, "Well, I didn't succeed at those," and in this business, I'm like, "I'm just gonna make the sale," which we just got done talking about.
You
So
did. You did.
there's a lot of things in my, like, "Let's close this and get it done right now," that I even currently do in my business that I tell people not to do all day long.
Yeah.
So definitely, I think past, present, and future, we're going to make those mistakes.
Yes. And I agree. I think the thing that came up this week, now that we've gotten through our two kind of horror stories, and we could probably talk more about different things we've done because I have a few others that aren't as dramatific as that. But what I think people do is they hold on to that mistake, right? You can't see my hands. Hold on. They hold on to that mistake and they carry that with them to the next job. So they're apprehensive of making another decision. They're apprehensive of trusting the next person. They're apprehensive of being um, being the motivation of their own growth, right? Um, and I think Jeanette saying she did that she's done some of these things holding on to them a little bit longer. Um, and honestly, that brings me to my next quote because it's not about moving on completely right away. It's about taking the next step, right? So here's the next quote. But if you can't fly, run, right? We're not always gonna be able to fly. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. I know it cuts off your head, I think, for a second. It goes away in a second, but the initial quote cuts off your head. Um, if you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward, right? You can't hang on to those mistakes. And we're talking about business, but I'm going to go with, uh, you end a business relationship or you end a personal relationship, a marriage, a girlfriend and boyfriend breakup, you move away from a roommate, whatever your instance is, you can't hold on to that forever. You have to start moving ahead and you can't blame yourself. It's just take that next step forward. There, see, now I can see you again. I'm wondering if we can move it over, like just have it be under
We
the.
can't.
Oh, okay. That's all
I
right
have
though.
tried. There isn't a setting for it.
Okay.
But I am the
Well,
one that turns it on and off, so I could not use it.
in here I thought it was like automatic or something. Um, anyway, so what are your thoughts on that? On the moving ahead concept?
I think that this is why you and I get along so well, right? We are in
One
account
of many.
we met in accountability and I mean you are now my co-leader. I don't care what anybody says. You drive it as well as I have. And I think that you're able to we both really support people in, hey, great. What did you learn? Let's go forward.
Right.
And it's okay to acknowledge I did these things and this is how I'm going to move forward. Like I said, I was trying to make a sale the other day. I made it. I walked away and I was like, oh, I could have got more.
But we
Should have
talked
got
about
more.
that. Maybe you should have got, but you are developing a little bit of a different niche to your current company that you didn't do before, and you're trying something new out. And I think that that's an amazing path to take. And sometimes some trial and error costs less or more than it normally would.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, and I see Jeanette's comment there. Um, I love that you failed one business. And I know that sounds silly, but like you said, you learned what you did wrong and you never did it again. That is what I'm talking about here, right? Don't hold on to the failure. Hey, yeah, look, I failed. I don't know. I can't tell you how many things I've failed, right? I've tried a million times to do different things, and but the things I'm successful at will always outweigh that in my head. And that's what I hope to bring to people, to show them how amazing they are despite some things that have happened in their past. You can't live there.
I love that.
So,
And I do want to share this, Jeanette. We don't teach. We're just here to help. That's all. We're giving our experience so that you don't make the same mistakes we have. I love that you are always around because you inspire us every day. And you inspire us to look at those things and say, hey, this is what we're looking at. Um, so definitely, we appreciate you being in accountability with us.
100%. 100%. Um, and yeah, I'm sure like every once in a while we feel like we're teaching things or we look like we are, but most of the time we feel like we're guides.
Hmm.
Like I want to give people the tools to do things the way that they need to for their business. Because the way I do something is may not be the way you want to do something. Like, script writing. Um, I mean, just some people choose to use script more often than others. And I can't help with that situation. And I tease Brittany, but she's too nice to say things back to me that she would do differently, and that's okay.
I was
Um,
thinking earlier today in marketing accountability.
sure.
When we support people to move forward expressing who they are, right?
Yes.
And then you'll have people who will come in and they will express how to move forward in the corporate instance
Oh,
and
sure.
remove that that instance of who you are, right?
Hmm.
So I really treasure the fact that the group that we've created is very much who are you inside of this and how can we stick with that? And
Right.
I'm
We
noticing that in some different instances.
No, 100%. I can see your perspective on that because we do focus on who you are and not necessarily what you do. And and that makes us have a little more, I don't know if empathy is the right word. I'm not sure what word I'm trying to get at with it, but it makes us connect with people a little bit better versus um, versus having that corporate feel that there's a right or wrong answer to everything. And that's how I feel corporate America is, right? I was 9 to 5 for a while, and there was always a right way to do things. There was a policy, there was a procedure you had to follow. And if you didn't follow it, you got in trouble, right? And when we're all starting our own businesses, I don't want anybody to feel like that.
No, it's
Now,
your
if you're going
path.
to start your LLC, I'm going to tell you you're doing it wrong. Okay, there's a policy, there's a procedure. But if you're designing something or whatever, I'm just gonna guide you and
Why you
and
gotta
give you
pick
some
on me
tools and
all
tricks.
day?
That wasn't even for
Jeanette
that.
definitely coaching. Coaches and
Well,
consultants. That is what we are. Sarah, we are coming down to that ring time. Go ahead. What is our third quote?
no, no, I didn't have a third quote. I only
Oh,
had 2 quotes. Maybe did I say I
swear
had
we
3
had
quotes?
three.
Maybe.
Maybe I
I mean, I
just looked
have a
for
bunch of
number
other
three.
quotes up here. You want me to,
Oh, wait, Jay's got Jeanette, your thing says Jay. I don't know
I
how to
know.
use it.
Um,
Oh, I love
and I
that.
love that we treasure it too. We get just as much out of it, literally. Um, in fact, I might as well just go for the trifecta since I've already said 2 things about Brittany. But I think borderline, she started accountability because she gets just as much out of it as everybody else does.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. I'm just teasing her a little bit. But when you can build a business that fills you up and doesn't tear you down, that's the kind of business that you want, right?
Yeah.
Every day you should be waking up thinking, wow, I enjoy what I do. and I want to get on these calls and I want to do these things and help people. And she gets up every day and does that. And she gets paid to enjoy these things. And that's the most amazing job you could ask for.
Yep, I love it,
So,
and I love that we have a free offer. You have the free, and then you have the different levels of paid. And
right.
honestly, the free is you have access to free task management and group accountability, and then free marketing, free financial.
Yeah.
Those are, accountabilities, not like financial, like we're giving you accountability around your finances, accountability
Right.
around your marketing, ideas and movement forward in those spaces. But also we created an app which is amazing, and it's being utilized for people to grow and to make comments and to speak and to, in the moment, because we're not in a Zoom, they can ask questions or pose different things. And
Right.
I think that's been amazing.
You don't have to wait for your question till Monday at accountability. If it's Saturday night, midnight, and that's the time that you're doing something, you post it and people can answer when they're ready.
Yeah.
And the irony is that there's probably people up at midnight on Saturday waiting for the notification.
It's so
So,
bad.
um,
I was on it at, like, 9 o'clock, and I was remembering that I tell Scott to go to bed, but it's on
well,
my phone.
my thing was is you were messaging this morning at like dark 30. I was like, my God, I wake up to messages. You were sending messages at like 4 a.m. my time, I swear. Like I was like, what are you doing? But that's what it is when we have people all around the world, as well as every time zone in the US.
Yeah,
Um, so we have people from how many countries now? Because we have Canada and
Sweden.
Sweden, and we're
Mhm.
still growing. We need to
Well, and
get
I
some more
have
countries.
I have an amazing person who's doing a topic in Quick Connect next week who is all international. She's East Coast, but she is all international. So it's really, and then when we're in New Reality, we have at least six different places. Eileen is in uh
I don't know her.
she
Oh, wait, no,
uh
I do. She lives up in upstate New York. No,
no,
did I
no,
just
not
make
that Eileen. We have Eileen, a different Eileen, but she and I know right where she is, and I can't think of it to save my life. Anyways, so many countries.
maybe
Um,
she'll come on and post later maybe or something and tell
yeah,
us where she is.
we'll get
Um,
it.
no, but I love the fact that we're growing and we're expanding, and it's multiple time zones, which allow people to be on the app when they can and respond when they can. And it allowed us to grow out of WhatsApp, which wasn't working for the growth that your company was having. And that's the key right there. So
Yeah, I look forward to the next step.
I know. I don't even know what that would be.
It's
So
in my head.
that's a
It's all,
scary place to be.
I know.
Um,
It's gonna
so
be great when
somebody
it's
called
real.
me normal yesterday. I know, and I hope he's listening because he knows who he is. He called me normal. And I wrote back, I'm like, I have to work on that because I'm doing something wrong.
If we're normal, then what was that? Like if somebody calls us normal, then how unnormal could
Normal is right. Like, see, now you know what's wrong with the world. When we're normal, that's why the world is as crazy as it is. So,
I love
anyways,
that.
it is 19:05. We have missed our 15-minute mark. Thank you, Jeanette, for joining us. And wherever they are, find the QR codes, follow us. We appreciate you.
Book with us. We love chatting. We love giving advice. We love speaking. We love talking. We appreciate everybody so very much. Thank you all.
And you know what oh no, we'll go off on that when we're off the line. It's all good. Bye.
Jeanette, thank you for joining.